There comes a time in every man's life when the gods test his resolve. Some crumble, begging for mercy, while others stand firm, unshaken by the storms of fate. Tell me, when the weight of misfortune presses upon you, will you yield like the common man? Or will you rise as the Stoics of old, embracing the trial as your path to greatness? Today, I tell you the tale of Marcus, a Roman whose fate turned against him, whose power was stripped away, whose future was thrown into darkness. Yet, he did not break. Instead, he discovered the secret that allowed him to transcend his suffering and emerge stronger than ever before. And by the end of this tale, you will hold that secret as well. Number 1. The rise and fall of Marcus. The streets of Rome once echoed with Marcus's name. A senator of great standing, he had wealth beyond measure, influence in the halls of power, and the favor of the people. His home was adorned with marble columns and golden statues. His banquets filled with the finest wines, and his days spent among the most powerful men of the empire. Yet, power is a dangerous thing, for those who wield it often find themselves surrounded by enemies disguised as allies. In the shadows, whispers spread like venom. His rivals in the Senate, envious of his rise, wove a web of deceit. They accused him of treason, claiming he had conspired against the empire. The trial was swift. His lands were seized, his wealth stolen, his status stripped from him. That night, as he was cast out of Rome, Marcus stood upon the steps of his once great villa and gazed at the torches in the distance, his enemies celebrating his downfall. He clenched his fists. Have the gods abandoned me? He thought. Is this to be my fate? But fate does not answer prayers. It only watches. And so, with nothing but the clothes on his back, Marcus left the city, exiled to the far reaches of the empire. Number 2. Despair and the meeting of wisdom. The road was long and the journey cruel. Marcus wandered through foreign lands, his body weary, his spirit weighed down by the chains of despair. For weeks, he asked himself the same question. Why? Why has fortune turned against me? Why has everything I built been taken from me? He reached a small coastal town where no one knew his name, where he was nothing more than another traveler. There, he lived in a modest hut, surviving on the work of his own hands. It was a humbling experience, once a man of power, now a man of survival. One evening, as he sat by the shore, staring at the endless sea, an old man approached him. His robes were simple, his face weathered by time, but his eyes held the wisdom of centuries. He sat beside Marcus in silence, then spoke in a calm, steady voice. You have lost much, but you are not lost, the old man said. Marcus turned to him, frowning. And who are you to tell me this? I am but a student of wisdom, as you once were, the man replied. Tell me, young senator, do you curse the storm when it comes? Do you curse the waves when they rise? Marcus sighed. I do not. The storm does as it will. The waves move as they must. To curse them is foolishness. The old man smiled. Then why do you curse your misfortune? Life, like the sea, is beyond your command. Yet here you sit, lamenting that it does not move as you wish. Do you not see the folly in this? Marcus was silent. Number 3. The Stoic Formula for overcoming fear. That night, the old man shared the wisdom of the ancients, a lesson that had guided warriors, rulers, and scholars alike. Fear is an illusion, a specter created by the mind, he said. To conquer it, one must follow the three great principles of Stoicism. 1. Control what you can. Accept what you cannot. You could not stop the Senate from betraying you. You could not halt the hands of fate. But what is still yours? Your thoughts, your actions, your discipline. That is your true power. Focus on it, and you will never be powerless. Marcus nodded, thinking of how he had wasted weeks mourning what was lost instead of building something new. 2. Hardship is the forge of strength. Do you know why the greatest warriors sharpen their swords daily? The old man asked. Because they know that one day battle will come, and if they are not ready, they will fall. You too are being sharpened, Marcus. This exile is not your punishment, it is your preparation. Marcus felt something stir within him. Perhaps his suffering was not a curse. Perhaps it was an opportunity. 3. Act without fear of failure. The man who fears the storm never sets sail, the old man continued. The man who fears the enemy never lifts his sword. Do not wait for the perfect moment to act, for it will never come. Do what you can, with what you have, where you are. Marcus closed his eyes. He understood now. Number 4. The rise of Marcus. The next day, Marcus did something he had not done in weeks. He took action. He stopped dwelling on what he had lost and focused on what remained. With the skills he had as a leader, he helped the villagers build stronger homes. He advised merchants on trade, teaching them the strategies he had learned in Rome. Soon, he became respected, not for his former wealth, but for his wisdom and strength. Years passed, and the tides of fate turned once more. The same Senate that had cast him out now found itself in turmoil. The empire needed men of reason, men of wisdom. And so, a messenger arrived, bearing a decree from Rome. Marcus, the Senate calls for your return. But Marcus was no longer the man they had exiled. He had become something greater, unshakable, immovable, untouchable by fear. The eternal lesson. You see, life will always cast storms upon your path. Fortune will rise and fall like the tides. But the wise do not cling to what was or fear what will be. They stand firm, they act with purpose, and they embrace the challenge as the fire that forges them into something stronger. Fear is a choice. Strength is a decision. So tell me, when the storm comes for you, will you cower or will you rise?